we should lead them. Better look it up. Should we stand or sit? Oh, I see. We are standing. Someone can get him to smile.
Good morning and welcome to Port Huron Northern High School's 28th Annual Senior Awards Assembly. We're extremely proud of this class. I'd like to thank the teaching and operational staff here in the building for their support and encouragement of the students over the years. And I'd also like to thank the parents for their guidance, support, and patience with this group over the last 17, 18, 19 years. And to you, the seniors, congratulations. This is the first of a series of things that are happening in the next week. Today we have the senior assembly, of course. Tonight we have the prom, which is from 8 till 12 at the Thomas Edison Inn. Sunday we have some parents who have volunteered to coordinate a voluntary baccalaureate ceremony at 2 p.m. at McMorran. Monday we have the senior luncheon at 1 o'clock. Wednesday we have the commencement practice at 10 o'clock at McMorran. 8 p.m. Wednesday the 9th we have commencement, and following commencement we have the all-night party, so there's a lot of activities to look forward to this week. Beginning the assembly this morning, I'd like to introduce Miss, excuse me, lost it, Allie Lukovich, President, Class of 1993. Allie?
Good morning. I'd like to give a warm welcome to the staff, the students, and the parents that are here today. The Class of 93 would like to thank everyone for being here. We'd especially like to let our courageous class advisor know just how much we appreciate him. Mr. Curley, thank you for everything you have done for our class. You meant the world to us. There wasn't a time that we said, "What's that?" We always knew that's Pat. Thanks again, Mr. Curley. At this time, it is my pleasure to announce the Mistresses of Ceremony, Jenny Hayes and Shannon Martin.
Thanks, Ellie. Before we introduce the next speaker, I'd like to take a moment to express Shannon and my gratitude for the opportunity to be your class officers and also for the privilege to MC our last assembly.
First, we would like to introduce Miss Amy Cosley, who used her special talents and took the time to compose all that we've known for our class. Amy?
So much joy
Next is Mr. Burnell to introduce the honor students.
He will be recognizing those students who have maintained a 3.5 grade point average or above throughout the past 4 years.
Good morning. The salutatorian, the Cole valedictorians of the class of 1993 with a perfect 4-point grade point average are Jeffrey Krigbaum and Michael Lashbrook. The salutatorian of the class of 1993 with a 3.976 grade point average is Molly Mechtenberg. A select group of seniors has maintained a high school grade point average of 3.5 or better. They have been awarded pins, academic letters, or gold bars signifying academic excellence by the Greater Port Huron-Marysville Chamber of Commerce. When the name of the academic honor student is announced, he or she should stand and remain standing until all awards are made. Audience, please hold your applause until all the names are announced. Rebecca Allen, Denise Betts, Kelly Blay, Deanna Blythe, Catherine Carey, Kristen Clark, Keith Coors, Jeremiah Collins, Michael Duffy, Rachel Eichberger, William Faber, Marcus Fawcett, Amy Furre, Frederick Gersdorf, Kara Gibb, Matthew Gladchen, Catherine Gostinger, Christy Goulet, Nicole Jacobs, Angela Johnson, Jason Kent, Catherine Ketchum, Jeffrey Krigbaum, Erica Lapish, Michael Lashbrook, Molly Mechtenberg, Marie Miller, Kimberly Moore, Dan O'Connor, Adelpho Ray Pamatmat, Christine Porter, Jody Smith, Scott Smith, Jason Sparling, Christopher Spencer, Jennifer Strauss, Neela Stevens, Jamie Webb, Kristen Williamson, Adrian Wolford, and Mindy Zito. Congratulations. The following students are recipients of the Presidential Academic Fitness Certificates, having attained a 3.3 cumulative grade point average for grades 9 through 11 and having scored at or above the 80th percentile on a nationally recognized standardized achievement test battery. Audience, please hold your applause until all the names are announced. Rebecca Allen, Keely Baraboo, Denise Betts, Kelly Blay, William Boldazar, Leslie Burke, Kristen Clark, Jeremiah Collins, Melissa Daniels, Andrew Davidson, Michael Duffy, Rachel Eichberger, William Faber, Aaron Faust, Marcus Fawcett, Joel Ferguson, Amy Furre, Frederick Giersdorf, Catherine Gostinger, Christy Goulet, Kara Gibb, Matthew Gladchen, Adam Hoffman, Matthew Hoxie, Nicole Jacobs, Angela Johnson, Jason Kent, Catherine Ketchum, Thomas Kopp, Jeffrey Krigbaum, Erica Lapish, Michael Lashbrook, Molly Mechtenberg, Kimberly Moore, Marie Miller, Todd Murphy, Christopher O'Connor, Daniel O'Connor, Adelpho Ray Pamatmat, Christine Porter, Andrea Scott, Jason Sparling, Christopher Spencer, Neela Stevens, Jennifer Strauss, Kristen Williamson, Eric Willing, and Adrian Wolford. Congratulations.
Now I'd like to introduce Adam Hoffman, our freshman year vice president and sophomore year president, and Bob Nickerson, who was our treasurer freshman year.
They will recap for us and take a trip down memory lane to our freshman and sophomore years.
Welcome, parents, teachers, fellow Huskies, and of course, the graduating class of 1993. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, for we are going back to our underclassmen years. To borrow from the awesome and eternal Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been. The time was a point for no more lumberjacks, no more warriors, no more demerits, only Huskies, for it was time to embark on a journey into young adulthood, into a new realm known as high school. We entered Port Huron Northern in 1989, sporting the latest designer clothes and more moose than poison. We were wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to take over high school. Yeah, right, we were freshmen, for Pete's sakes. What were we thinking? Anyway, the freshman experience was truly a wild ride, filled with fun, excitement, and confusion.
We were led by El Presidente, Wally Battlemente, Vice President Adam Hoffman, Treasurer Bob Nickerson, and Secretary Ellie Lukovich. Frost year began with, well, being ridiculed and scammed upon by upperclassmen, but also our first Mardi Gras. Dreams of winning the wall, hoisting the barrel up, and then leaping into a jacuzzi with Cindy Crawford leapt through our heads. Well, maybe that was just mine and Bob's dream. Anyway, we thought we could take the school by storm. The topic was holidays, and we came up with our very warped version of New Year's. A big square apple and neat little stadiums were among our, highlights. And through it all, the entire week was our first lesson in camaraderie, working together, and spilling paint.
At halftime of the homecoming game, Ellie Lukovich and Melissa Coleman represented our class with elegance and grace, while our two boards with wheels and lots of tape made a dramatic effort in the kart race, finally succumbing to senior ingenuity. In other school-related events, it was the 25th anniversary of our beloved Port Huron Northern, proudly being an integral part of kids' lives with bells and detentions for a quarter century. Not only were we Huskies changing, but the world as well.
South African leader and freedom fighter Nelson Mandela was freed after years of imprisonment, returning to continue his gallant crusade against apartheid. The stark cement wall separating the two Germanys came crumbling down, bringing with it a reigning celebration of freedom felt around the globe. Back at home, a big Hollywood bat awed us all, although that rubber suit looked really, painful. We also all fell in love with the Little Mermaid, not knowing that we would be having hands-on experiences with her, for our senior wall, that is.
We also busted a move with Young MC, grooved with Depeche Mode and New Order, and became part of the Stones generation with their Steel Wheels tour. If anything ever survives a nuclear war, it will be Bugs and Keith Richards. Young girls, and not only freshmen, oohed and awed with the new kids, but now I think Donnie's doing time. Two Live Crew was censored by many in the establishment, but they were joined by others who seemed to have heard of something known as the First Amendment in their anti-censorship fight. Oh yeah, we are moving up, third place in snow. The final bell sounded and those young-looking freshmen were now sophomores.
Not. Sophomore year kicked off with the sounds of wild animals and wild softs. For Jungle Hunt was our entry into the 1990 Mardi Gras celebration. Again, we put on our young minds together and came up with what was arguably our finest well ever. Yes, even the seniors were sweating bullets, and when the verdict was in, second. During halftime of Mardi Gras, we were again lucky enough to be represented by Ellie and Melissa.
Also at halftime of the homecoming game was the always exciting edge-of-your-seats kart race. The race during our 10th grade year was definitely one for the books. Electricity was in the air, and heading into the home stretch, we upstart sophomores were ahead of the pack by 10, 15, 20. Ooh, wipeout.
The big event in Port Huron was the opening of that mecca of Americans, Canadians, and kids with nothing better to do. That's right, Birchwood Mall. We all checked out the mall scene.
Some just more than others, about 1 million more times. Sophomore year was also a time where many of us received that righteous piece of paper, a driver's license. We could now cruise around the Blue Water area, looking cool and trying to impress our fellow peers. Got old in about a day.
In global issues, Operation Desert Storm was a subject of controversy and affected everyone. It was a time to rethink our positions on war, violence, and peace. On the home front, it was a year of the hair bands, the wannabes like Warren, Wenger, and Nelson. Talk about cashing in on your family's name. The Material Girl sizzled with her Blind Ambition tour. There was not a person who did not at least once spy on her, busting out.
Do-do-do-do, can't touch this. MC Hammer, no comment. Ghost, we all went to see Ghost, which was a great date flick that was also a lesson in new ways to use clay. And that pretty woman, Julia Roberts, in her 100-foot legs, made all the guys grab their wallets and comb the corners, looking for the love of their lives. And made the girls wonder what Dad had actually told them about nice girls.
And who forgot about Turtle Power? By the way, are the lockers all painted yet? Our final days of underclassmen, embarrassment, and paranoia were upon us. And up ahead, we could see our junior year.
Or maybe we just saw someone's mom, since moms were what seemed to be the hot topic all through high school anyhow.
Anyway, we were now going to be juniors. Time for thinking about our futures. One last thing before we turn over the mic to Jenny and Shannon. We've been through a lot of wild, hairy, and funny times together.
And these 4 years at Northern have brought innumerable memories, countless experiences, and a myriad of great friendships that will last forever. So now as we say goodbye to all of you here, we have one thing to say. Try as you may, you all y'all, will never live up to the legend and spirit of the graduating class of 1993. 225.
Rachel Eichberger and Mindy Zito are now up next.
To introduce this year's Hall of Fame members.
The Port Huron Northern High School Hall of Fame began back in 1966. As each year passed by, several seniors were chosen to become members of this Hall of Fame, based on their positions, class elections, staff elections, or special marks made during their senior years. This year is no different.
Within a short period of time, a new picture will be mounted on the wall across from the main office, displaying the class of 1993's Hall of Fame members. On behalf of the Port Huron Northern Senior Class of 1993, we would like to thank all seniors and faculty for their participation in this year's selection process. We now present the Port Huron Northern's Class of 1993 Hall of Fame members. Please stand and remain standing after your name is called. We'd like to remind you that the Hall of Fame pictures will be taken immediately after senior assembly today. Please hold your applause until after all names have been read.
Senior Class President and Mardi Gras Queen, Allison Lukovich.
Student Council President, Senior MAC Award recipient, Tracy Natzel.
Snow Extravaganza King, Adam Kors.
Editors of the yearbook, Andrea Switlicki and Neil McLeod Hunter.
Co-valedictorians, Michael Ashbrook and Jeffrey Craigbaum.
Salutatorian, Molly Mechtenberg.
Radio Station Program Director, Band President, and Senior MAC Award recipient, Christopher O'Connor.
National Honor Society President, Jason Kent.
Chorale President, Angie Smith.
Outstanding Senior Athletes, female, Janet Hansen, male, Todd Murphy.
Seniors elected by class, Shannon Martin, Mindy Zito, and Lisa Carl.
And seniors elected by faculty, Rachel Eichberger, Katie Carey, and Bernie Powell. Congratulations.
Now, the senior homeroom teachers will be introduced.
By TJ Gaffney and Bernie Pellick.
We'd like to thank the homeroom teachers for the help they have given us over the past 4 years. Although we no longer have a homeroom period during the school day, their involvement in the class's activities has been greatly appreciated. The role they played in the class of 1993 may have been small, but it was vital. Their job was by no means easy, for they had to do such things as hand out locker numbers and stand by while we tried to open our lockers unsuccessfully for the first time.
And the second, and the third.
Be the messenger of that wonderful little item called the report card.
Which was good for some and not so good for others.
And hand out other school announcements such as medical cards.
Which may or may not have reached home the same day we got them.
We would also like to thank them for chaperoning many of our dances, for without their help, we couldn't have held them. All in all, they have been a great help to us over the past 4 years, and they deserve our recognition.
When your name is announced, would you please stand? Mr. Jim Bates. Mr. Thomas Blackman. Mrs. Carol Connell. Mr. Patrick Curley. Mr. Craig Delkey. Ms. Susan Doherty. Mr. Robert Elliott. Ms. Diane Fugel. Mr. Al Gable. Mrs. Linda Gostinger. Mr. Dan Hannon. Mrs. Nancy Johnson. Mrs. Pamela Mosier. Mr. Ed Peltz. And Mr. Al Wright. Let's give our homeroom teachers a round of applause.
And now it's time for Keely Baraboo and Chris O'Connor
To recap the trials and tribulations of our junior and senior years.
First of all, before we begin, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to my dad. Picking up where Adam and Bob so eloquently left us off, we find ourselves, hey, upperclassmen at last. We got to look at Port Huron from a whole new perspective, since all of us could drive by now, which ended up basically disappointing since the only thing to do in Port Huron is drive. Hey, as they say at Burger King, I love this place.
The 91-92 school year started and we were cocky, we were confident, we were clueless, we were juniors. The year started out with the national headline shaming Supreme Court Justice nominee Clarence Thomas, who supposedly got dirty and unprofessional with Professor Anita Hill. The Kennedys flirted into big trouble down south in posh party town Palm Beach, while Mike Tyson traded in his gloves for handcuffs as he was KO'd by the law in a beauty pageant contestant.
On the sad side, Magic Johnson shocked the world by announcing his retirement from basketball after testing positive for HIV. Rodney King was savagely beaten by Los Angeles police officers pushing racial tensions over the edge.
In the theaters, we took our dates to see Carefree Southern Girls Gone Bad and Thelma and Louise. Arnold Schwarzenegger blew away the sets of T2. We learned how to birth cows in City Slickers and took eating lessons from Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs.
In music, MC Hammer dropped the MC, but still had the same sound. Hammer here, hammer there, hammer, please, just go away. GNR released Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 simultaneously, yet separately, which always equals mo money, mo money, mo money. Nirvana kicked off the Seattle scene invasion, reeking of teen spirit with plaid, Doc Martens, flannel, thus inventing grunge and bringing with them Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and a bazillion more.
Back at PHN, Angie Johnson and Ellie Lukovich represented the junior class in Mardi Gras. We came in second place with Chinatown for our wall. Our fearless class leaders were President Shannon Schertz, Vice President Shannon Snodgrass, Ellie Lukovich, Secretary, and Treasurer Melissa Coleman. In late winter, our King's Court was represented by Chad Armstrong and Bill Truscott. In the spring, Air Band came alive to the sounds of Right Said Fred, who were definitely way too sexy.
We basically had an all-around PH butt-kicking year in football, basketball, and most other sports. Varsity volleyball finished in the Final Four, and the track team was rolling to an incredible win streak. The year had come to a close, and we were ready to be seniors. We were all talking about our awesome ACT scores, difficult academic course loads, and our speedy college applications and decisions. Not.
Unfortunately, during our Christmas break in our junior year, we lost our friend and classmate, Dan McGraw. We remember him as hardworking and one who would never quit. His presence today is missed, but never forgotten.
The first school bell of the senior year rang to the sounds of the Los Angeles riots. 58 people were killed and over 600 buildings were burned or looted. Los Angeles had exploded over the acquittal of the officers. Dan Quayle was blaming the entertainment industry for poverty of family values on Murphy Brown. Dan had nothing else to say, however, when Bush and Quayle packed their bags and left Washington, D.C., making room for newly elected President Bill Clinton, Vice President Al Gore, Hillary, Chelsea, and Tipper.
What about those Gore daughters? This year was one filled with bizarre ironies, as the royal family came under scrutiny across the seas as we elected our own king and queen, our queen and king, Ellie Lukovich and Adam Korse. And speaking of the king, the Elvis stamp received just as much, if not more, publicity than real issues like Hurricane Andrew and Aniki or the World Trade Center bombing.
I never knew so many people would fancy licking Elvis's back, or would get to for only 29 cents. However, the most publicity from the press this year went hands down to Wacky Waco and the Ranch Apocalypse's version of God, David Koresh. Speaking of one-hit wannabes, all we could do is cry, listening to Billy Ray Cyrus hit #1 with Achy Breaky Heart, a song that really touched on all the big issues this year and helped us bond with its universal message. Not.
Eric Clapton walked away with almost all the Grammys. U2 rocked Detroit and the world with the Zoo TV tour, and Arrested Development made a huge debut with their album 3 Years, 5 Months, and 2 Days in the Life of. Meanwhile, our class was 3 years, 5 months, and the same odd number of days into high school when we finally took the barrel with the Little Mermaid wall. We also took the skis during snow with our undying spirit. In Airband 1993, oh wait, there was no Airband 1993. The best dance of the year was sadly missed by the students.
Unfortunately, our football team was, well, devastated like Marysville, and like usual, we flattened PH. The other sports teams fared well as the men's track team just kept on winning, only to stop at 41 straight meet wins, starting in 1989.
And now we've come to the end of the road, and our senior year ended as quickly as it started. Our days at Northern holds only 4 chapters of our lives, and this closes our chapters of senior memories. The class of 1993 cannot wait to move on to the new and exciting challenges waiting for us when we walk out the doors of Port Huron Northern.
In other words, to explain the precise emotion I'm sure everyone is feeling at this moment, I give you Dave O'Connor.
It is impossible to sit in the stands of a Husky athletic event without hearing the roar of the Cone Crew.
So Cone Crew co-presidents Jeff Perry and Jeremy Lewandowski will now let the Cone Crew legacy live on by turning over their megaphone to the junior members.
In the tradition of the Cone Crew, which was started by Ryan Porty and John Adair, the cones have been passed down to the juniors with the biggest mouths at the senior assembly.
These cones are a symbol of school spirit. Students use these cones at men's and women's basketball, hockey, and volleyball games to raise the involvement of the fans.
Now as Jeremy and I leave, we will pass the cones down to the representatives of the junior class of 94, soon to be seniors.
We will be passing the cones down to Damon Amy and Matt Lumen.
Next is Mr. Runner
to introduce the departmental awards.
Thank you. This year, as in past years, the faculty of each department has chosen the student that they feel best exemplifies outstanding achievement in the various areas of Northern's curriculum. Medals awarded to the winners may be picked up outside the main office right after the assembly. As in the past, please stand when your name is called and hold your applause, please, until all the names have been mentioned. The winner of the Linford Bond Science Award, Michael Lashbrook. Departmental awards for science, Rachel Eichberger. Mathematics Department, Jeffrey Kriegbaum. Vocational Technology, Jonathan Soulier. Vocational Business Education, Michelle Lapidus. Industrial Technology, Brian Burkett. Business Arts, Deanna Blythe. Art, Jennifer Dixon. Vocational music, Angie Smith. Instrumental music, there's a dual award, Melissa Daniels, Michael Duffy. German, Thomas Gaffney. Spanish, Catherine Carey. English, Kara Gibb. French, Amy Furet. Social Studies, Michael Lashbrook. Your Book, a dual award, Neil McLeod Hunter and Andrea Switlicki. Life Skills, Christy Farmer. Drama, Aldefo Ray Pamatma. Female athlete, you already heard, Janet Hansen. Male athlete, Todd Murphy. Female physical education, Mindy Corby. Male physical education, Bill Boldazar. TV production, second year honors, Scott Smith. This, ladies and gentlemen, represents what we feel is the best of each of the departments at Northern. Congratulations.
Mr. Goldsworthy will now read the names of the students receiving scholarships.
And also the recipients of the Academic Scholar Diploma and other awards.
There are some advantages to being short. To begin with, I'd like to introduce the top 20 academic students of the class of 1993. You've already heard the valedictorians, Cole, and the salutatorian. Next is Catherine Carey, Keith Kors, Michael Duffy, Rachel Eichberger, Amy Ferre, Frederick Giersdorf, Nicole Jacobs, Angela Johnson, Catherine Ketchum, Erica Lapish, Kimberly Moore, Daniel O'Connor, Jody Smith, Jason Sparling, Christopher Spencer, Neela Stevens, Kristen Williamson, Adriana Wolford, and Mindy Zito. Congratulations, top 20.
There's one right here that
Academic Scholar Diploma recipients are Rebecca Allen, Jeremy Collins, Michael Duffy, William Faber, Marcus Fawcett, Amy Ferre, Frederick Giersdorf, Kira Gibb, Matthew Gladchen, Catherine Ketchum, Jason Kent, Molly Mechtenberg, Kimberly Moore, Adolfo Ray Pamatmat, Jody Smith, Neela Stevens, Jennifer Strauss, and Kristen Williamson. Congratulations. When your name is called as a scholarship winner or a leadership award winner, please stand and remain standing until all awards have been announced. Audience, please hold your applause till all the awards have been made. State of Michigan Competitive Scholarship Program recipients. Those qualified based on the ACT scores. Those who received money have already been notified. Rebecca Allen, Keely Baraboo, Denise Betts, and I apologize, Denise, you're also the top 20. Kelly Blay, William Boldazar, Kathy Bowens, Stephanie Buckridge, Leslie Burke, James Byington, Kristen Clark, Jeremy Collins, Keith Coors, Melissa Daniels, Andrew Davidson, Michael Duffy, Mary Dunn, Melissa Dwyer, Rachel Eichberger, William Faber, Aaron Faust, Marcus Fawcett, Joel Ferguson, Todd Fiedler, James Fogel, Amy Ferre, Thomas Gaffney, Frederick Giersdorf, Kira Gibb, Matthew Gladchen, Catherine Gostinger, Kristen Goulet, Randy Grove, Matthew Huxley, Nicole Jacobs, Angela Johnson, Mark Jones, Jeff Kane, Brad Kemp, Jason Kent, Catherine Ketchum, Thomas Kopp, Jeffrey Craigbaum, Michael Lashbrook, Brad Manulo, Molly Mechtenberg, Marie Miller, Kimberly Moore, Nolan Murphy, Todd Murphy, Robert Nickerson, Christopher O'Connor, Daniel O'Connor, David O'Connor, Ray Pamatmat, Rebecca Patterson, Adriana Pattinson, Bernard Pelk, Neil Pickard, Christy Porter, Shannon Rowland, Scott Russell, Alexander Ruffin, Aaron Sanders, Aaron Shatler, Andrea Scott, Jason Schoenberg, Jason Simpson, Angie Smith, Jody Smith, Jason Sparling, Chris Spencer, Neela Stevens, Jennifer Strauss, Aaron Western, Kristen Williamson. It's no wonder that our school has the highest test scores of 17 high schools in this area. Congratulations. Additional scholarship winners are, for 1993, Kelly Blay, the Cy Smith Scholarship. Deanna Blythe, Baker College Board of Regents and Co-op Scholarship. Bill Boldazar, St. Clair County Community College Port Huron JC Scholarship. Leslie Burke, Albion College Scholarship. Brian Burkett, State Champion Electronics Technology. Keith Coors, Albion College Scholarship. Jeremy Collins, Michigan National Bank Scholarship. Melissa Daniels, Elma College Tartan Award, Performance Award, and the Jake Wade Band Scholarship. James Dietrich, Baker College, Michigan Business School Association Scholarship. Michael Duffy, Western Michigan University Excellence Scholarship and the Jake Wade Band Scholarship. Rachel Eichberger, Grand Valley State University Honor Scholarship and the Port Huron Northern National Honor Society Scholarship. Amy Ferre, the Pritchard Scholarship. Catherine Gostinger, DePaul University Dean's Honor Scholarship. Christy Goulet, St. Clair County Community College, Raymond and Mary Haley Memorial Scholarship. Adam Hoffman, West Point Prep School Wrestling Scholarship. Andrea Yerk, St. Clair County Community College, St. Clair County Association of School Boards. Jeff Kane, Illinois Institute Technology, United States Air Force ROTC Scholarship. Lisa Carl, Hall of Fame Scholarship. Jason Kent, Army ROTC Scholarship. Catherine Ketchum, Michigan State University. Michigan State University Merit Scholarship, Distinguished Freshman Scholarship, Aid Association for Lutherans Scholarship, and Board of Trustees Scholarship, Western Michigan University. William Knowles, Rotary Scholarship. Erica Lapish, Michigan State University Academic Award, Michigan State University Grant. Chrysler Corporation Citizen Scholarship Foundation of America Grant. Michael Lashbrook, Michigan Tech University Board of Control Scholarship. Brad Manuel, Albion College Scholarship. Molly Mechtenberg, Kalamazoo College, Eastern Michigan Bank Scholarship, Kalamazoo Honors Scholarship, and the Times Herald Scholarship. Todd Murphy, Albion College, Webster Scholarship from Albion. Bobby Nickerson, Albion College Honors Program Scholarship. Tracy Natzel, co-recipient Principal's Leadership Award. Christopher O'Connor, Albion College Scholarship, Kiwanis Cochran Memorial Scholarship, Robert Trapp Scholarship, Voice of Democracy School Award, Voice of Democracy District 10 Award, Voice of Democracy State of Michigan Award, and co-recipient Principal's Leadership Award. Chris is looking for a roommate if anybody's interested. Ray Pamatmat, DePaul University Arthur J. Schmidt Scholarship. Rebecca Lynn Patterson, Mothers Against Drunk Driving Scholarship. Corey Gorski, Baker College Co-op Scholarship. Christy Porter, St. Clair County Community College Woodland High School Aid Scholarship. Richard Relkin, St. Clair County Community College DECA Local Competition Finalist. Scott Russell, UAW Douglas and Winifred Fraser Scholarship. Chris Spencer, Michigan Tech Action Colloid Scholarship, Tom Smith Scholarship. Angie Smith, Oakland University, Vocal Scholarship from Oakland University, and the Cy Smith Scholarship for Music Education. Kristen Williamson, American Tape Scholarship. Dan Bankston, Cumberland College, Kentucky Golf Scholarship. Kelly Blay, Lee College Honors Scholarship. Sonia Brookins, All Nation Church of God in Christ Scholarship. Keith Coors, Howard A. Action Memorial Scholarship. Thomas Gaffney, Dennis Book Grant, Dennis Scholarship Grant, Dennison. Janet Hanson, Florence G. Stevenson Softball Scholarship. Jeffrey Craigbaum, Howard A. Atchison Memorial Scholarship. Michael Lashbrook, Howard A. Atchison Memorial Scholarship. McNeil McLeod Hunter, in memory of Troy Robinson, the award for exceptional contribution in the field of drama. Catherine Schumann, Jacksonville State University, Alabama Sports Scholarship. That's it, folks. Over $300,000 in scholarships. Congratulations.